So my mom has been dating this person that I'm going to tell you about for a very long time. And the only reason why I could relate is because personally, I've dated someone the same. Now, whenever whenever anyone says the word narcissistic, the first thing we hear is, "Oh, run away, negative." But the truth is, not people that are narcissistic are, based on what I've read, they want true love. They want someone to be supportive of them. So I think the reason why they keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and trying to manipulate you and do certain things is because they want to see how you're going to react. They want to see if you're going to stay through all the shit that they're putting you through. And this shit could go on for years. So it's like, I don't know if they don't have sense where they don't think about, like, who really wants to go through this torture. Like, it's been going on for years. I've showed you that um I'm gonna be here for you. You can be vulnerable, but yet you still keep trying to look for attention, and you're doing too much to the point where, like, people end up leaving them. Now, I don't really know what goes on in people's head. Like, I don't know why they act this way, why they behave. Well, I do know. Sometimes it's trauma from childhood. Um, a lot of things happen with people where, I don't know, they just can't get over it. What I've noticed is, like, people who are deeply insecure about themselves are the ones who act this way. Because if you loved yourself, because it starts from there, if you love yourself, you're not gonna, like, really treat people in a certain way. So it just proves that, like, you don't love yourself. You desperately need attention, even when, like, people are loving on you. Because there's been instances where narcissistic people, they cheat. Like, they do a lot of weird shit, and it's up to them to heal themselves. Like, you can't heal a person. What you can do, however, is, like, if they continue to bother you and stuff, is, like, just let them know via text. If you get them in person and, like, you can actually talk to them without them getting out of control or running away, you let them know, like, what you notice about them. And sometimes they're not willing to have those hard, vulnerable conversations. Whenever you bring it up, they try to shy away from it. That's something that, like, they do. They like to control everything that's going on. As another thing is their grandiose sense of self-importance. Whenever you're around them, like, I remember I dated a guy who had these narcissistic traits, and, like, he liked a lot of attention. He always tried to make it seem like he's so important. Like, you're just a human being, like everybody else. Don't nobody give a fuck. Um, it's just, like, a lot of things. Like, my advice is, like, not to date someone like that. Like, not to have kids for someone like that, because it's just not gonna end up well for you as a person, especially, like, when you see these things, these controlling things. He's manipulative. One minute he's gaslighting you, and then one minute he's pulling you down, or you're so this and that. And then once he feels like you're not giving him enough attention, or, like, other people are getting your attention because you're a beautiful woman, he starts trying to say things to pull you down. It's how they are. The faster you realize it, the better for you. There's a lot of resources online, guys. Like, we live in the best times. I don't know. In terms of information, the best, because let's not generalize. We live in the best times in terms of, like, having access to information. You can Bing some stuff. Bing.com, Google, ChatGTP. I have mine on my phone. And it gives you a list. You sit, you assess. You know, and then you know yourself. You know who you're dealing with. You don't need to go pay a therapist $100 most of the time to know, like, this person is this. And the person, he or she who is a narcissist is the person that needs therapy, not you. Not necessarily. I'm not saying you can't go to, like, sessions together if you guys are trying to work the relationship out, but how much money, especially, like, People that are like that, I can't generalize, but like, if you're smart, love yourself, emotionally in tune with like who you are, I don't feel like you'll be acting in such a way. Excuse me. But just know, like, for me, I dated someone who was like that, and I was able to put the pieces together because of things that he told me about, like his past, what happened. Because I was younger then, and like I've always been good at like asking people questions and getting them to be honest. For some reason, like, you have your gifts, everybody has theirs. Like, people are very okay with being open with me, especially men. Like I was saying, especially men when it comes to like just like speaking out. I'd be a great therapist, psychotherapist, psychiatrist. You never know, life is long. I might get there. Um, but yeah, it's just like when you talk to someone, if you really care about someone, that is like, because some people they are quick to be like, oh, he's narcissistic or she's narcissistic, but you're not even taking the time to kind of understand why this person is this way. For me, like, I remember things, like if you really care about someone, you're gonna remember what they've said to you. And I remember things that my guy used to say, and just about like his childhood and like being an adult. He used to try to love bomb the fuck out of me. Um, they do that too, like try to love bomb you, gaslight you to get, I don't know, like he would always be talking about like kids. So I'm actually glad that I dodged that, because imagine being a single mother for a guy like that. It's not, I bet that wouldn't be like the best feeling, if we're being honest. Um, so recognize things about people. Try to get them to like really either go to therapy. Therapy could be like expensive. Okay, psychiatrists are like the top 5 or 4 of like people that get paid the highest in terms of profession. So I read that online the other day. That's how I know. I think the top is the people that deal with when you go to surgery and like they have to put you to sleep. I can't remember the name of it. I think they get paid the highest, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, back to what we were talking about, narcissistic people. It goes both ways. I don't know the statistics in terms of who's more, in terms of if it's men or women, but those people still need love. You still need to love people, try to like get them to see who they are. Sometimes people never change. I'm not gonna lie to you. So it's best to stay away of such people in terms of like trying to have long relationships with them involving kids and stuff, because you're only hurting yourself. Unless a person can like admit, like when you real, I think like how you understand that this person is actually healing and willing to heal is, and that could also be like just them saying, I was saying that could just be them saying that like they're trying to get better when they're not. The thing about like narcissistic people, like you can never really trust them, you know? And when you can never really trust a person, it's scary, especially in terms of like trying to move forward with them, to have like a family and stuff. You never know if something's gonna go up or down or left or right, like it could go any fucking way. So it's best to just like keep such people as friends, because they ultimately do still need love. Setting boundaries, making sure that you set boundaries, like I can't see you today, but like I'm off on Saturday if you're down to hang out. If not, not. Like you don't give them a part of your life in terms of like making them feel like they're so important. You don't let like that manipulative side of them get to you. And if everybody who knows a narcissistic person does that, where like you set firm boundaries in terms of like when you can see them and stuff like that. They kind of get the hang of it, like I'm really not that fucking special. Like they start thinking that because they like to think that they're so special. And they start realizing, I'm just a person. And like when you tell them, it's good to like explain why you can't see them and stuff. Like I can't see you because this, that, and the third. To try to help them understand. And it's either they do or they don't. Most people like that are, like I said, very insecure, sometimes suffer from like anxiety. A lot is going on in their brain. They want real love. They want to feel like everybody else. The problem is they're trying to search for that love from other people, but real love comes from inside. You have to love yourself. You have to spend time with yourself. And even such people be spending a lot of time with themselves, but still are constantly trying to find um, attention from outside. But yeah, recognize shit for what it is, see people for who they are, and always protect yourself. Like don't let people control your mind. It's good to care for people, but don't care so much that like it cripples you. Right? There are healthy people. There are people that are very healthy, very emotionally um, stable, and all those great things. And go after what you actually want. Don't keep trying to change people. That's not your job. It's your job to be there for people when they need you, when they reach out to you. But that's kind of it. You have to like make sure that you prioritize yourself and you prioritize healthy relationships mainly. But that's kind of all that I wanted to say about that. And thank you for coming to another talk with the best storyteller in the world. I started off this saying that like my mom has been seeing this person who's narcissistic and then telling me about it, and it's kind of like I would try to make excuses and stuff, but like you can't make excuses for toxic people because it really has damaged her a lot, physically, mentally, emotionally. It really does like a lot of damage. It takes a lot to heal from, but it's better when like you understand it for what it is. There's a lot of lessons there when you deal with somebody who's like that. You're able to spot it out very quickly in others. You know, when you're very observant of things and you remember things and don't just brush it off like, you tend to live a better life because like you're not gonna be in such situation again, no matter what, no matter how thick it is. You know what I mean? No matter how thick it is. Okay, ladies. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat my banana now, and I'll stir up another story for us soon. Not to mention, like I had this like crazy dream. Crazy dream. I have a lot of crazy dreams, and people like they like to be like, "Oh, your dreams are just a representation of what you're going through right now." And then you have the spiritual people that say you were in another dimension. We're at a point in life where it's like, what should I believe? I'm gonna believe what I want to believe. I might tell you guys about that story. I actually wrote about it on my medium.com, which is, if you click the link, you'll be able to read the story that I'm talking about. But anyways, thank you for coming. Toodles.